Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing this evening? This is your boy Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and welcome into another edition of Titans in Truth. And we're gonna have a very good episode tonight, as we are gonna talk about the Tennessee Titans. We got the NFL draft coming up in just over a week away, and we're definitely going to talk about a lot of things as far as what I think the Titans could do at 25, what I predict will happen with them in the draft, and I did a little bit of a small mock draft right quick for the Titans with the 6 picks that they have, and I got some things coming up for next week, so we're going to go ahead and get right into that with some headlines. First and foremost, we got to talk about the fact that earlier today it was reported and confirmed by the general manager, John Robinson, our quarterback, Marcus Mariota, is going to, they're going to exercise the 5th-year option on his contract. So he is going to be staying around for a 5th year next season, which gives him some more time to work out a long-term deal to keep Marcus Mariota as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. So with that being said, was that really a surprise? Was that really something that somebody didn't expect to have happen? Of course they were going to extend Marcus Mariota on his 5th-year option. I mean, he's the number 2 pick in the draft. Of course they were going to do that. So I wasn't surprised at all. It was only a matter of time. But I think they are going to work out a long-term deal for him. And you know what's going to probably happen is Marcus is going to become one of, if not the highest paid player in the National Football League when he does sign the deal. And it's probably not going to be long for that, but he is going to get a massive contract coming up within the next year. So I expect he's going to be making somewhere north of $30 million. Now, this year we're going to find out if he's going to be worth that $30 million or not, and we're going to definitely find that out this season with a new offensive coordinator. You got some new weapons that have come in as far as Corey Davis fully healthy from injury, Taywan Taylor a year removed from this offense, Tajay Sharp coming back from an injury. Also, you got Dion Lewis, who is signed from the New England Patriots, a very good back out of the backfield, as well as Derrick Henry as well, and the offensive line coming back pretty much intact with the exception of Jack Conklin, of course recovering from a torn ACL. I'm hoping he'll be back by the start of training camp, but I think he'll be ready to go at least by week 1. I think that's going to bode well for Marcus Mariota. I think a new offensive system, something that caters to him, is going to be beneficial for him going forward, and I think it's going to be beneficial for this team going forward. Y'all, I'm actually broadcasting live on Instagram right now. I got Mr. Know Your Worth. How's it going, good sir? Hope you got another book going on, and I appreciate you even tuning in to me, even though I know you're a Cowboys fan. Chris Caesar, my nephew, how's it going, good sir? Yes, sir, Blue Fire indeed, as we talk all things Titans in here. Now, I actually think this is a very good thing with Marcus Mariota getting the 5th-year option on that, so of course he'll get re-signed. I'm not really worried about that. But in talking about that, we got some guys whose contracts are going to be up at the end of the year, and it makes me wonder, who could we re-sign? Who could be re-signed after this season or even before this season begins? Now, our left tackle, Taylor Lewan, I'm not worried about him because they're going to re-sign him. I'm not worried about him in the littlest bit. I'm not worried about him at all. Delaney Walker, I know some people think that he's probably going to be gone after this year. I still think they'll keep him around for at least another year or 2 after this season because I think they want him to retire as a Tennessee Titan. I think Delaney Walker's had his best years here. He well deserves it. He deserves to finish his career right here in Tennessee with the Tennessee Titans. And now also you got Brian Orakpo and Derek Morgan, our outside linebackers as well. Now, this is where I think it gets a bit tricky because both of these guys are on the last year of their contract. Brian Orakpo is going to be turning 32 by the start of the season. Derek Morgan is going to be 29. So they're both getting up there in age. And so you're going to wonder is it time to have their replacements? And so I really think in this draft coming up, we are going to be drafting a replacement for one of these guys. I think it's somebody that may not start right away, but somebody that's going to be starting, I think, by the end of this year, which is something I think we're definitely going to find out. And one thing that I will say is I think Derek Morgan would have played his last season. The only way I think Derek Morgan gets extended and Brian Orakpo does not, Derek Morgan's going to have more than 10 sacks because we've been waiting on him to have a breakout year and he just hasn't had it yet. I think in 2016 he had 9 sacks. He almost got to 10, but he did not. At least Orakpo has had a couple of 10-sack seasons for us, and I believe last year he had 8.5 sacks last year. So I don't know if they bring back either one of these guys. If I had to pick between the two, I think Orakpo is the guy that will get re-signed, and I think he's the guy that will end up going forward at least for a couple more years with a new pass rushing linebacker on the other side. So that's what I think as far as that is concerned. I know there's a couple of other guys that are going to be free agents. So I want to know, comment if you're listening on Instagram, comment to me on that. Who do you think, if you're a Titans fan, who do you think could get re-signed between Orakpo, Morgan, and Delanie Walker? Who do you think goes? And if you're looking at this on YouTube, comment under the YouTube bar in the comments section. Let me know what you think on that. And also, while you're at it, spread the word out to everybody. Share this out to everybody. Spread the word about this show. Spread the word. Tell everybody to tune in. If you're looking on Instagram, if you're looking at YouTube, tune in. Let everybody know what's going on with that. So, so we can get some more people on here. There's some Titan fans on here. If you're on IG, if you know there's some Titan fans or some football fans, get them over here. Tell them to share this out. Spread the word so that they know what's going on, and leave me a comment on that. So that is what I think is going to be happening and what's going to be going on with that. So give me just a minute. All right. So, with that being said, I want y'all to comment who y'all think should stay and who should go. Honestly, I think Orakpo will stay. Morgan, I think, is going to go. Delanie, I think, will stay and retire as a Titan. But also coming up, letting y'all know the draft is just a little bit over a week away. It's a week from tomorrow. Next Thursday night will be the NFL draft. And, of course, for the Titan fans, especially here in the Nashville area or the Middle Tennessee area, there will be a draft party at Nissan Stadium starting at about 6:30 p.m. There's going to be, you'll be able to get on the field. There's going to be I believe there may be some autograph sessions. There'll be some games. There's going to be some locker room tours. I'm going to try to go live. I'm going to try to go live probably on Facebook Live. So if you know me on Facebook, definitely check it out. I may do something on Instagram as well. And so, definitely tune in for that. We'll see what we're going to do in the draft. I'll probably talk about what the Titans do at 25, and I may give a little bit of love as far as what's happening early on in the draft, maybe some surprises as far as trades are concerned and some things like that. So definitely looking forward to some things going on with that with the NFL draft. Also, next week, what I'm going to be doing, I am going to, next Wednesday night, I am actually going to do a full mock draft of the first round. I'm going to do a full first round mock draft. I'm going to run through that as far as what my picks are, or what I think other teams are going to do based on their needs. This will be the one and only time of this draft season I'm going to do an actual full first round mock draft. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to put any trades involved in that. I might do that. Again, seeing what some teams might be trying to do. But I'm going to do a full first round mock draft to see what I think other teams are going to do. You know, yes, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, but I'm a football fan, so I'm going to take a stab at it. You know, it'll be the first time me doing that, seeing what some other teams might do with that. And so I definitely look forward to doing that. I look forward to the draft party and everything. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Please tune in for that. Again, follow my main page at Blue Enforcer 1914, or check it out at Titans_Truth. Titans and Truth. That is the official Instagram page. And if you need anything, go on my main page at Blue_Enforcer 1914. The link to that other page is there. You can follow that also. So definitely take a look onto that. But what I want to do also, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to a couple of sponsors of Titans and Truth. First off, Rose Jewels Boutique. That is a very good site. My friend, Miss Allison Conley, she is terrific in making jewelry. Ladies, if you need some good jewelry on your wrist or around your neck, rings or anything like that, you know, she's very creative as far as making like little bracelets, necklaces, anything like that. She can make it for you. She can make it so it fits your style, fits you, anything like that. If you have any specifics that you may like, she may be able to do that for you. So check her out on Instagram, on Facebook at Rose Jewels Boutique. That's ROSEJEWELS Boutique, BOUTIQUE. Check her out there. And also check out Craftgasmic Creations. That is my cousin, my family, Miss LaCrystal Cleveland. She has, of course, made my Titans and Truth shirts, and also a hoodie, and also a sweatshirt that I wear very regularly for either this show or for Titans and Truth or for Titans games or Titans events. I'm probably going to be wearing a hoodie or my sweatshirt next week for the draft party. So definitely take a look at that. You'll probably see me in it next week, and definitely check that out. And so so you can be fresh, and so you could be looking good as well. And you know, definitely support her. That's at Craftgasmic Creations. That's CRAFTGASMIC Creations. So check her out there, and definitely take a look into that. So she makes some very, very cool things. And if you're looking to get some shirts done for an event that you have coming up, or for your birthday, or just for your favorite team, she could do that too. So you could definitely take a look at that. I see some other people join in. Alan Leck, welcome in. King Dre, what's up, man? Long time no see. What's going on with you, my friend? What's going on with that? So definitely check out those sponsors of Titans and Truth. Check them out, and definitely let them know that Chris of Titans and Truth sent you. You know, they may hook you up a little bit. And so going back in to the NFL draft, I want to look at the top 5 needs for the Tennessee Titans. What I think will be the top needs in this draft for this team. And I did some changing a little bit from one of my last shows, if you go back and take a look on this. But my top 2 needs are still the same. Pass rusher is number 1. And I say that because Orakpo and Morgan, you know, they're getting up there in age. Their contracts are going to be up. We need some more sack production, and we got to get younger at the position. I really think that's going to be one of the top needs addressed in the draft. Also, next thing I would say is inside linebacker with our guy Avery Williamson. He's gone to the New York Jets, and we need a 3-down replacement for him. We need somebody that can play all 3 downs, that can help against the run and can also cover against the pass. Somebody that can do things like that. And we need somebody that can start tomorrow. So if somebody that, you know, we pick in the draft, we need them to start day one. We can't be somebody that, needs to develop and can't start yet. We need somebody that can start immediately. So that's something I'm looking at. Third, this is a little bit different for me, is safety. And even though we got Kevin Byard, he's a terrific safety. He made All-Pro last year. He made the Pro Bowl last year. He needs a running mate beside him. I know we have Jonathan Cyprien, but I'm just not sold on him. He was not very good last year. He's more of an in-the-box safety, and we can use another safety that not only can play up, but can also play back in coverage, maybe against a tight end, or somebody like that, or the slot receiver, something like that. So I think a good safety could be needed, and Cyprien maybe could go down to being a third safety that could play. Maybe we play some 3 safety looks with that. So that's 3. Number 4, I would say, is wide receiver. Probably just need some more depth. I know we got Corey Davis, you got Rashard Matthews, you got Taywan Taylor, you got Tajay Sharp coming back. You got Mike Campanaro, who we just signed from the Baltimore Ravens, but he's going to probably be more of a special teams guy. We need another legit receiver that maybe could become a number 2 and could cover for Rashard Matthews, if we let him go at any time. So I think another wide receiver is definitely needed. And last, I would say offensive line. Some depth at the guard and center position. Maybe with Ben Jones possibly moving on after this year. I know his play has dropped off a little bit. We did re-sign Josh Klein, and of course Quentin Spain will be playing under his 1-year tender. I don't know if they're going to move on from him going forward next year, but he may have some competition. I know we signed Xavier Su'a-Filo and also Kevin Pephill in free agency, and we also have Corey Levine, who we drafted last year for some competition. So it's going to be tight as far as at the guard and center position, but I think that might be necessary. Maybe even looking at an additional tackle, even though I know we have Taylor Wan, you got Dennis Kelly and Jack Conklin, but we may need another tackle. I know we have Brad Seaton, but we may need another tackle just in case for depth issue, just in case if something happened with Taylor Wan. I'm not expecting that to happen. He's a tough soldier, but just in case, just to have some backup. But those are my 5 top needs as far as who I think is going to be necessary as far as draft time is coming around. And so with that being said, again, comment what you think. Comment to me on that. What do you think are our top 5 needs going in the draft? What do you think we should do as far as picking in the draft? What do you think we should go with that? Do you think we need to go wide receiver a little bit earlier? Do you think we need to go tight end, as Todd McShay and Mel Kiper have tried to mock to us for a long time? Who do you think is needed as far as who do you think we need to go to as far as picking in the draft? So I want y'all to give me some comments. Let me know what y'all think about that. And when we do that, I'm going to take a quick break for just a second, and then we're going to come right back with Titans and Truth. I'm going to give y'all some predictions of what I think the Titans will do in this draft. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all sticking with me on that. I apologize for that brief pause. I decided to make a switch off of Instagram. Again, still follow me on there. But now I decided to do the second half of the show. I decided to jump on to Facebook Live. And so, I figure on Facebook Live I can, get some people to chime in here as well. And so, again, definitely give me some comments. Who do you think, what do you think are our biggest needs? Who do you think, Orakpo, Morgan, or Delaney? Do they stay or do they go? So definitely take a look on here and definitely chime in on that. And so what I think we're gonna do now, so I want to take a look at what I think are some of the biggest what I think is gonna happen in the draft, and what I think we're gonna do in this draft actually. And so what I think we're going to do is there are a few things that I think we are going to do in this draft. I think first and foremost, the first two picks I think are going to be edge rusher and linebacker. I just think that those are going to be the first two picks in the draft. I just think we got to go defense in the first two rounds. There's no way that I don't think we don't go. There's no way that I don't think we won't go defense in this draft. We got to go defense. I just think it's necessary. I think it's needed, and we'll be able to do a whole lot of damage with that. And speaking of, going defense, the reason why I say that is that there are a couple of ways we could definitely go with that. And I think first off with inside linebacker, and if y'all excuse me, I'm getting some people in on Facebook Live and everything so we can move forward with that. And so in doing that, and I apologize for that, y'all, but we're going to keep going with this. With inside linebacker, I think my personal favorite is Rashaan Evans out of Alabama. I think he is a legit 5-star caliber linebacker that can start day one for us. I just think that it's a no-brainer. Rashaan Evans would be an absolute home run, can't miss for the Tennessee Titans if we were to pick at 25. Another one will be Leighton Vander Esch. Now, Leighton Vander Esch, I think is pretty good, but he does have 1 year of experience, which I would like to have seen a little bit more experience, and he has had some durability issues in the past, but it looks like he may have put that behind him. He had a very, very solid combine, and the Titans were very much interested in him. Now, the only thing was about that was they decided to cancel their visit with him because they thought he might be gone by the time they pick at 25. Now, I don't know about all of that. I still think if Rashaan Evans is gone and Leighton Vander Esch is there, I would pick Leighton Vander Esch without thinking twice. I mean, because I really think that in this draft, that I think there's more of a drop-off at inside linebacker after Rashaan Evans and Leighton Vander Esch than at edge rusher. And I'm going to get to edge rushing in just a bit. I think in the second round, you can find a good edge rusher who will eventually start. You don't need an edge rusher to start right now, but you'll need a guy that can start in the coming years. But again, I think third I have on the list is Malik Jefferson. He's a guy that I could see in round 2. Fourth, I think is Mekhi Kaiser from Virginia. And also Josie Jewell from Iowa. Even though I don't think Josie Jewell had a great combine, I think he will be solid. He's pretty good against the run, but he will probably have some issues in coverage. Probably an Avery Williamson clone, so to speak. And a dark horse that I have in mind would have to be Christian Sam from Arizona State. I think he could possibly be a dark horse as far as an inside linebacker is concerned, coming in and probably contributing. Maybe not from day one, but he's a guy that could eventually become a starter. Edge rusher wise, the main one I would like to get in round 1 is Harold Landry. I just think Harold Landry would be a terrific find. I think he would be a great player for this team. I think he would be a guy that was that could possibly take a spot from a Rakpo or Morgan and start day one. If he doesn't start day one, he will be heavily in the rotation. That much is a fact. So I wouldn't be worried about that at all if Harold Landry is starting right away. I think he's a guy that if he's there at 25, I would snatch him up without thinking twice. Another guy that I would look at is Marcus Davenport. Even though he's probably more of a 4-3 defensive end, he has been able to cover in space a bit. I do think he may have some trouble shedding blocks, but other than that, I think he's a very solid player. I would like him if he's there at 25. I cannot pronounce his name to save his life. I know his last name is Okonkwo. Obanya Okonkwo from Oklahoma. I think he's a good guy that we could get in round 2. I like to see maybe a 00, whatever his number ends up being. Like a James Bond, basically. Agent 00. Again, whatever his number is. I think I would like that a lot. That might be appeasing to the fans, and that would be something that would be kind of cool. But I think he's very smart. I think he's very fluid. He definitely has some good variety of moves coming off of the edge. Lorenzo Carter is another guy. Now, Lorenzo Carter is a guy that will have to develop some, but I think with this offense, with a relentless motor, I think he could be very, very good for this team. And Uchenna Nwosu from USC, I think he's a guy that could be there in the second round, maybe even in the third round, as a guy that could be an edge rusher. We have some USC lineage with Jarrell Casey, with Adoree Jackson. We have our fair share of USC guys on this team. And so that would be, I would think that would be a nice get. And a couple of dark horses I have is Darius Leonard from South Carolina State, who I think has an impeccable motor. He likes to go after people. He likes to hit, but he can't get caught up in the wash on run plays, and maybe gets beat a little bit behind him on pass plays. But I think he's a guy that could develop into a very good linebacker. And Hercules Mataafa is another guy. I think he's a guy that could be just a good situational pass rusher on third down, a guy that maybe could develop, but I think he would be just a situational pass rusher that I think would be very beneficial as well. But that's my first prediction. Second, I think we won't draft a cornerback early, but I think we will draft a cornerback in the draft. I think, I know there were some reports of Jair Alexander. He visited the Titans. Also, Josh Jackson has talked to the Titans quite a few times, actually. So it sounds like there is some interest that they had a private workout. I believe he was here for a top 30 visit as well, although that wasn't confirmed. But I've heard they've had a lot of interest in cornerbacks. So I don't know. I don't think they'll pick one early, but I do think they will pick one later in the draft, maybe around fourth or the fifth round. I think that's where they'll definitely do that. And another prediction, they will draft a quarterback late. I think fifth round or later, they will draft a quarterback. Maybe somebody that could be on the practice squad and could eventually challenge Blaine Gabbert for that number 2 spot. Definitely not somebody that's going to make an impact right now. But again, that's why I said fifth round or later as far as picking a quarterback. And I think they will skip the offensive line. I don't think they're going to really pay attention to the offensive line as much as people think. Now, if they do go for depth, I think it'll be later in the draft as far as guard and center depth. But I just don't think, they've invested a lot in the offensive line. They just picked up again, Su'a-Filo from Houston, Pamp Hill from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, of course, you got Corey Levin and also Brad Seaton that you drafted last year. So, I think they've invested heavily in the offensive line. I just don't see them really paying much attention to the offensive line. And last but not least, J-Rob will make at least 3 trades in this draft. I put the over under at 2.5. I say he's gonna make. He's definitely going to make 2 trades, but I think he'll make at least 3 trades in this draft. And, Austin Stanley of A to Z Sports, he basically said that he thought there was a scenario that he thinks that there's a scenario that maybe the Titans move up with the Dallas Cowboys to maybe 19 rather, to get ahead of the Detroit Lions. Maybe if Harold Landry is sitting there, or maybe moving back in the draft with maybe a team like the New York Giants. If they draft Saquon Barkley at number 2, maybe they want to move up to draft a quarterback, draft Mason Rudolph or Lamar Jackson if he's still there late. I could definitely see that with the Giants. I wouldn't mind us moving back, maybe out of the first round altogether, but I think we need to stay in the first round. There was a mock draft that I looked at on YouTube. Again, I don't know the person that did it, but I saw it on YouTube where they predicted the Titans trade back to 30 with the Minnesota Vikings, and they will also get the Vikings 3rd round selection at 94 and a 6th round selection as well. I could see that happening as well. I think if they do trade back, they'll trade back late in the 1st round, maybe see if they can pick up an extra second round or an extra 3rd round pick. So I definitely see that as a possibility. So those are my 5 predictions that I think will happen in this draft. The first 2 picks will be inside linebacker and edge rusher. They will not draft a cornerback, a defensive back early, but they will draft one later. Quarterback, 5th round or later. They will draft a quarterback 5th round or later. They'll skip the offensive line altogether. And last but not least, John Robinson will make at least 3 trades in this draft. Over under at 2.5. So that's what I think my predictions are for this draft. That's what I think is really going to happen this time next week. And speaking of mock drafts, I went ahead and did a quick mock draft off of fanspeak.com. They basically do mock draft simulators. I like using that. I think it's kind of cool to do and to kind of see how you look at the team. And so in this mock draft, this is what I did with the 6 picks that I have. In the 1st round, I went with Rashard Evans, linebacker out of Alabama. I just think it's a shoe-in. I love this pick. I think it would be a home run. 2nd round. Now, I don't expect this to happen. I don't expect this mock draft scenario to actually happen, but this was how the board fell for me in this mock draft. 2nd round, Justin Reed, the safety out of Stanford. I think it's a 2nd rounder in this mock draft. I think he will fit perfectly, could start day 1 and beat out Jonathan Cyprien and start beside Kevin Byard. He's a versatile safety, so you can work with Byard and Reed. Sometimes you can play Byard at the free safety, Reed at the strong safety, or vice versa. Reed at free safety, Byard at strong safety. And again, Cyprien could be that 3rd down safety. In the 3rd round, I was surprised to see Josh Sweat sitting there. I had to scoop him up. Even though I know a lot of people have him as a 1st round grade. I think realistically he will go in the 2nd round. But since he was sitting there in the 3rd round of this mock draft, that is who I went with. In the 4th round, I decided to go a little greedy and stick with the edge rusher, and I picked Tyquan Lewis from Ohio State. Ding, ding, ding. Mike Vrabel. So I'm pretty sure Mike Vrabel may be familiar with this kid. So I just think that might be a very good pick up there. Maybe somebody that could develop. Not a guy that's going to start right away, but a guy that could fit into the rotation. 5th round, I picked Andrew Brown, I believe out of Auburn. Not very familiar with him, but I know we could use some depth on the defensive line. And lastly, in the 6th round, and I was very shocked to see this kid, at this particular spot. Tavarius McFadden, the cornerback out of Florida State, fell to me in the 6th round. I'm like, how in the world does McFadden fall to the 6th round? I have no idea. I very much doubt he'll be there in the 6th round. I think he's gone before the 3rd round because he was a pretty good corner at Florida State, but I know he dropped off a bit. I heard he didn't really have a great combine, and I haven't really heard a lot of news about McFadden, so maybe he is dropping a bit with that. So that was how my mock draft came out. Again, if you notice this, I went all defense. I went all defense, and I will put this up on Facebook, on Instagram as well. So that was what I picked. That's how I went with that. I went, again, Rashard Evans in the 1st round, inside linebacker, safety Justin Reed in the 2nd round, outside linebacker Josh Sweat in the 3rd round, Tyquan Lewis, edge rusher in the 4th round, Andrew Brown, defensive lineman in the 5th round, and Tavarius McFadden in the 6th round, defensive back. That is how I looked at that, and that is where I'm going to do going forward with that. So that's basically all I have for the show tonight. And before we do get out of here, for my Nashville Predator fans, get ready because Game 4 tonight will be puck drop around 9 p.m. In Colorado. Predators up 2-1. I personally was never into hockey before I moved to Nashville. But since I moved to Nashville, I started watching a little bit of hockey, watching the Predators. And I have to admit, I like hockey a little bit. I've been watching the Predators now for about the last 3 years. And starting to keep up with them a little bit, getting to know some of the guys on the roster, the coach and everything with that. Hey, this is me being well-rounded in sports. You got to kind of know some things with that. But the Predators are a very good team. I hope they go ahead and get this win to go up 3-1 to bring it back home here to one of the best venues in the country, Bridgestone Arena. They have great concerts. The atmosphere is terrific for the Predators, and I actually enjoy going to a Predators game. So even if you're not a hockey fan, you should go to a Predators game. May not be this season, and I know the season tickets are sold out next season, so they have a wait list for that. So if you get a chance to get a ticket to a game, if you're here in the Middle Tennessee area, or if you're a hockey fan of another team and they come here, make the trip. I mean, I think it will be a lot of fun. The atmosphere is crazy fun, and I enjoy it myself. So stand with us. Go Preds, go get this win, and let's bring it back home and close it out in Game 5. But hey, y'all, again, share this out. Check me out on Facebook, the Titans and Truth fans page. Also, I'm going to have this up on the website at www.titansandtruth.wixsite.com. I promise I'm going to get that updated. I haven't had a lot of time to update it. That is my fault. I apologize. But that is, again, at www.titansandtruth.wixsite.com/Titans and Truth. Check that out. Also on Instagram, again, my main page at blue_enforcer 1914, and the official Titans and Truth Instagram page at Titans_N_Truth, and also Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer on Twitter as well. So check me out on those channels and spread the word. Let everybody know. I know y'all know some Titan fans out there, so spread the word and let them know. And if you're not a Titan fan, become one. Tighten up with me, and I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm about to go get on some grub, and I will see y'all soon again next week on Titans and Truth for my first and only full 1st round mock draft. Holla at y'all. Good night.